So now that you've completed your mission model canvas, your first instinct might be, great, I'm done. I've written down all my hypotheses. But remember, your hypotheses are nothing more than guesses. And right now, they're untested guesses. In the real world, your job will be to take these faith-based guesses and turn them into facts as rapidly as possible. And there is no possible way you could do that sitting inside your office or your lab. The whole part of the mission model process, and this I-Core process or the lean process or the innovation pipeline process, is to actually now validate or invalidate or modify these hypotheses by getting out and talking to real beneficiaries, users, stakeholders, and partners. And what you're going to do in front of them is not only talk to them, but you're going to start building something we call minimum viable products. What's a minimum viable product? A minimum viable product is the smallest thing that will get you the most learning at any one point in time. An MVP on day one could be a PowerPoint slide. It could be a spreadsheet. It could be a cardboard mock-up, or something with the right weight or size that gives the warfighter the ability to see whether this will fit on their pack. An MVP will ultimately get more sophisticated the more you learn from those beneficiaries. And the notion that it's minimum on day one doesn't mean that it's a prototype of the product. This is where people confuse MVPs with prototypes. Ultimately, an MVP might be a prototype, but as I said, an MVP on day one might be something quite different. The other key idea that makes this whole mission model canvas process really exciting is this concept called a pivot. And a pivot says anytime we get substantive learning from our beneficiaries and stakeholders that perhaps were wrong, we're allowed to change and make substantive changes in any part of the mission model canvas. That's what this learning and discovery process is about. A pivot allows us to change when we've gathered enough evidence and data that says perhaps we need to invalidate that hypothesis, or perhaps we need to modify it, or maybe if we're lucky enough, we can now validate that hypothesis about this portion of the canvas was correct.